Some obviously aren't legitimate signals, but how effective is he both ways?
Well, he's very effective. We usually pick up one or two explosive plays a game by things that he sees and routes that he changes. And like you say, a lot of times he's like a third base coach. They don't mean anything, but in fact, Chris Obanai's long run, he gave a great dummy signal. I mean, in fact, from upstairs, I'm thinking, what is he doing? And it was that good a dummy signal. But he's really doing a great job of managing the ball game and understanding where everything fits.
Does he come up with those dummy signals on his own, or are those pass signals that you guys have?
Well, the one he used in that one was a possible live signal, and usually they are. But they work on them in the summer, and they work on, when you play your defense through spring training and through fall camp, they have to constantly be changing because those guys see them every day and they get used to them. So they're always changing them during the course of practice. He'll say, "Hey, I'm going to give you this if I want this route or whatever."
Coach, we talked about just before the game how Texas wasn't getting any attention. Now you turn on the TV and that's all you're seeing, and what you tell your players about the change.
Well, it's nice to be, I'm sure Mac said, it's nice to be number one. It's more important to be number one in January, obviously. And it's also nice to fly under the radar because we were in a situation where very few people gave us a chance to win that ball game. And our kids took that as a challenge. And now there's just a different kind of challenge. And it's being able to maintain your focus and go back to work. And that's what we told them yesterday. When we looked at the film, that it was a tremendous effort. Our kids played with as did theirs, played with a great effort. But it was not as clean a game as some that we've played. Part of it's the competition, but there was a lot of things that we can do better, and that's what we focused on.
Coach, did you, in all honesty, think that after 6 games, most people would say that Colt McCoy is the Heisman Trophy frontrunner? Do you think that would be possible?
Well, I knew that he had geared himself to have a great year. He was disappointed, as we all were last year, and he had a pretty decent year last year. I think he completed 67% of his passes, but he didn't take care of the ball. There's no question he did not take care of the ball as well as he should have. And so as we went to work in the off season and summer and spring training and fall camp, that was a big focus of what we wanted to work on. The other thing we wanted to do was make sure he had a great understanding of what each play meant and why it was being called. Now, it's not just a play, but why it was being called and how we were using it. And he's done a great job of understanding that. To answer the question, no, I did not think 6 games into the year that he would be a front runner. I thought that he would have a great year. In fact, I told you guys in August, I thought he had prepared himself to have a great year.
Vince in 2005 kind of went through that too as the Heisman talk all year. Is there anything you say to Colt to kind of manage that little individual?
I actually called, Mac asked me to bring Colt in last Wednesday because there were some people mentioning that over this next 3-4 game stretch that some guys were going to play themselves in or play themselves out of that situation. And so I called him in and we sat down and we visited about it, and he was a little upset with me for even bringing him in and talking about it because he knows as well as Mac does and I do that it's a team win. I mean, a team trophy, and if you win, it's going to take care of itself. So not try to put any pressure on yourself. Just keep doing what you're doing, and if we keep winning, then his stock will continue to rise, as it should.
Coach, do you envision you guys passing as much as you did because of the zone defense, and can you talk about the Tiger defense?
We're just now getting into the game plan. We spent last night and today getting all their blitzes and all their fronts and stunts put up on the board and organized by percentages and those kind of things. So we really hadn't got into what we're going to do. We did like our 10 personnel grouping that we used in the ball game, the 4 wide receiver set. We thought that was productive. We thought it put Jordan in a good position to be able to work on backers quite a bit, more so than in the slot, even in the slot. So, yeah, we're going to continue to use that formation. Whether or not we'll throw it, 35 times or 40 times, and not sure yet. And sometimes the game dictates it. In the second half, we were able to get the run going a little bit, so we didn't throw it quite as much in the second half as we did in the first half. So sometimes the game itself and what's happening dictates what you do.
Has Chris earned a little slack? Because I know that all year you guys have said that we'll go with the hot hand and we'll kind of do matchups and things like that. I mean, has he gotten to the point where he can?
Well, he's had the hot hand for a couple of weeks, and you couldn't be happier for a guy like Chris that has been here 5 years and tremendous student, and he's came in as a receiver, quarterback. He's played all around, played fullback for us, and so he's just been a total team guy. And so you're excited when good things happen to guys like that. But right now he's running with a lot of confidence. He's running with patience. He's breaking tackles, and so he is. Yes, he's gained some slack in terms of he definitely has proven to have the hot hand. I did not finish your question. I'm sorry. The Missouri defense is a team. They blitz quite a bit, which we're kind of getting used to. We see a lot of that this year. Their numbers are somewhere around 42% of the time they blitz. They involve their secondary quite a bit. Ziggy Hood is an outstanding defensive lineman. He's one of the best in the conference. Weatherspoon is very active. They keep him protected on the backside. Weak side linebacker. He's a guy that you got to be able to put a hat on and work on him. So they're playing well, and they play excited, and they present some problems with some of their blitz packages that you will have to be buttoned up on.
When you compare Colt and Chase, and I know they're friends, has he talked to you about that at all, just getting to know him earlier?
Well, they knew each other through the recruiting process, and they've continued to stay in touch. They both were invited to the Elite 11 last year in California to be counselors, along with Mark Sanchez and Sam Bradford, I think, was out there. There was quite a few of them out there, and I know they enjoyed that time and with each other, and they still text each other during the season. But Chase has had a great career. We thought that coming out of high school. He was an outstanding player at South Lake Carroll. I'm not sure he ever lost a ball game, and so it's just one of those things that happen in recruiting that we thought he was going to be an outstanding player, and he has, and we thought Colt would be an outstanding player, and he has.
He still has a picture in his room from when he was at Texas's camp. Do you think he carries a big chip on his shoulder coming into this game, that there wasn't more of a recruiting effort here?
Oh, I don't know. He would be better to answer that. I do know that human nature is he grew up in this state, and so I'm sure he'll be ready to play. But he's been ready to play against everybody else they've played too. So I don't know that that'll be any big change.
Is it tough to play against a team that's coming off of a difficult loss? Do you tend to find those teams to be a little more focused?
I was watching the game Saturday night, and I wasn't sure who I wanted to win because of the question you just asked. Whether or not it was better for Missouri to pull it out in the end and come in off a high, or for Oklahoma State to pull it out and Missouri to get their first loss. In reality, I'm not sure that it matters. These guys know they work all year long. Our players also, they work all year long for 12 or 13 opportunities to play, and they're prideful young men throughout college football. I think they get ready to play each week, especially when you're in a top program like they are.
Coach, there was obviously a lot of talk about